Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Hey, we doing this on a Monday. This ain't Tuesday. We one day early, so y'all, I appreciate y'all for vibing with us, for rocking with us, y'all. Make sure you go ahead and smash the share button, as they say. Go ahead and send it to a friend, y'all. We about to have a dope show tonight. We have teamed up with Heritage Hill, y'all, tonight. We about to talk about making our ancestors proud. Listen, it's gonna be a phenomenal show. I don't know what to tell y'all. Hey, make sure you get the folks in the building. We got a dope lineup. We got some dope judges. We got a dope prompt, yo. Tonight's the Elite Eight. If you come to significant six, two poets go home. So y'all, if you didn't catch last week, let me tell you who remains. Y'all go ahead and watch this intro. Make sure y'all share.
Derek Wallace. What up, J.O.? Kimberly Stewart. Yeah. Big Uno. Okay, it's time to ease your mind. No wasted time, I come in peace. Every poem is one of a kind, so every line is R&B. I swear, for God, it's time to eat. This is just the place to be. If you riding with the team, then say it loud. I pray your penmanship be photosynthesis. The witnesses and they attentiveness be memorable mentally and so more physically. The creativity with words you see in vividly. The way we orchestrate the place, you think it was a symphony. So bring your skill if you really real. If this your spot demanding, are you the one to make the cut and be the last one standing? Then rep where you from, let your heart and talent speak. If you grind and reach the peak, then you a real GOAT. They don't speak, 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 they don't speak.
Hey, hopefully y'all went on and shared the live. Make sure y'all get some folks in this joint, y'all. It's about to be crazy, y'all. Shout out to my man Derek Wallace on the intro. Hey, it's late, but y'all, we about to get lit. Make sure y'all share it. As y'all know, it takes a village to raise a poet. I can't do this alone. So y'all, let me introduce y'all to the judges. Hey, coming in number one seat, y'all know him, Big Uno, professional football coach, rapper, and sound engineer. Y'all give it up for the boy.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Elite Eight, let's go.
Let's go, let's go. Hey, Inbox 2, my other co-host, Kimberly Stewart, an award-winning celebrity artist, a brand expert. Y'all give it up for her. She in the building tonight, yo.
Hey, y'all, listen. Y'all better bring it. It's the day of Black love. And we about to talk about the ancestors. Let's make them proud, y'all.
Let's make them proud. And listen, the OG herself, the one that made Thick Chicks come back in style along with Velour. Matter of fact, my wife rocked Velour on our little date the other night. Hey, give it up for Tamara Blue, all the way from that
How
poetry.
funny. Thank you. I'm excited to talk about the ancestors today. So
Let's go. Let's
go.
do it. And I don't know whether to call this man in the middle, Professor B, Brandon Leak. I don't know. He getting awards and opportunities, y'all. Man, he's a phenomenal poet. He wasn't with us last week because he was on the All-Stars of America's Got Talent. Y'all know him. He got the golden buzzer. Y'all put your hands together. Put the flames in the comment. Give it up for Brandon Leak, y'all, in the building.
What's poppin', everybody? Sorry to be late, but happy to be able to make sure that I got here for this.
For sure, for sure. This is a perfect one. And y'all, Brandon Leak is calibrating tonight, y'all, so we in for a treat. And last week, I don't think I really made it clear because I took for granted that everybody understood what I was saying. So there's a competition called Women of the World Poetry Slam called WOWs. It will be in Baltimore this year in March. Right now, holding the number 2 seat for the Women of the World, Women of the whole world, is Lachelle the Shooter, y'all. Y'all give it up for her in the building.
What's up, y'all?
What you looking for tonight?
Man, I'm just looking for hearing some good poems, repping the ancestors. We are their wildest dreams, so I'm waiting to hear it all.
I'm waiting to hear. That's what's up. But listen, with no further ado, these are the judges and poets. They already backstage. So we're going to calibrate tonight. The judges will go judge just so y'all can see where they at on tonight. They already tell you what they're looking for. Brandon Leak does not have to be on prompt, but yo, he is about to set the night off right. Y'all, with no further ado, put your hands together for Brandon Leak. Let's go.
You on mute. You on mute, bit out. You gotta unmute. Unmute yourself.
Thank you. I appreciate it. They say black folk don't get a childhood, especially the black boys. We born into the wrong suit. No country clubs, just spades for arms, so we constantly armed. Meaning that we can't afford to be naive, no cards up our sleeve, only a deck stacked to where we can't achieve. Reminded that we blackjack, and that mean anything over 21 mean you got busted. But for a second, what if we conceived a reality where all black boys did believe? Where our ancestors didn't have to grieve the fact that another young boy was coming back to them, where the chaos of the world didn't age a black boy's joy before his first words. What if black boy joy weren't fossils, weren't pressed between hundreds of years of sediment, where it wasn't the fuel for our industrial complex? What if instead it never went extinct, just continued to roam the earth, free to exist? What if black boy joy were flowers? Not roses whose budding butted heads against concrete. No, instead, it was an orchard, a nature preserve for the world to witness, wild and winsome wisteria, daisies, orchids, tulips, lilies, the variety of this joy indicative of the lack of a monolith of blackness. I don't believe that this need be fantasy, or it need be the dream of the people who we no longer see here on earth. It need not be campfire tales, folklore of generations past. Instead, let us make this history and modern day creation a prophecy. Us griots of today spoke into existence, talking about Proverbs 8:21 literally. So I speak life to joy. I speak life to black and brown boys, no longer learning to appropriate smiles, but to instead have glee woven into the fabric of their genes. I speak life into a hope so profound the sound resounds in the eardrums that pound to the cadence of liberation being normalcy, because I want the shackles around black boys' bliss breaking to be normal, seeing the world from a lens unadulterated by the woes that wore us down. No more. Just know this. I have a son, and I will raise him to know he's made in the likeness of Yahweh. So what the hell can y'all do? What the hell can y'all say to a black boy who know where he come from, who know where he going, but most importantly, know who in heaven stands behind him? Because black boy joy deserves its day under the sun. The one who set and rose again, but in the name of joy for black boys and boys everywhere. I speak life. I speak love. I speak life. I speak truth. I speak life. I speak hope. I speak life. I speak life. I speak life. I speak life. I speak. And I hope you hear me.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, Black Boy Joy. I'm here for it. Hey, poets, judges. Let's go. We got to score it. Uno, it's on you.
You know, Brandon, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your peace. I appreciate you. All calibration poets, the standard for me is to give you the 10. Thank you for your time and being here. Appreciate it.
All right, 10. Let's go. All right, Kimberly Stewart, it's on you.
I always get excited when I hear Black men speak of Black boy joy. And the picture you just painted for us was absolutely, positively gorgeous. Um, and it just, it really touched me in my heart that you ended that with, I speak to, because our Black boys need to be spoken to. And so I got a 10 for you too.
Let's go, 10. All right,
I,
Tamara Blue,
I think
what
the
say
line
you?
was, I speak life into you. I speak life to you, right, Brandon? What was it? That's my first time hearing your poem. I've heard your name around, but I've never heard your poem. You're good. That was good. So because I'm a judge and it's a slam and people are coming after you, I'm not going to give you a 10 because I felt the energy in your voice, like you wanted to perform it or like you normally would perform it. And similar to me, when I did my calibration, I didn't really get it. So I'm going to give you a 9.
All right, 9. Let's go.
The
All right,
same, the
Brandon.
same,
All right, Michelle.
yeah, the same. Brendan know what he could do, but also it's a slam. But we got poets coming up after, so I don't want to start us with a 10.
Yeah.
Give room for other folks. I'll give it a 9 also.
All right. So Brandon, we can't let you judge yourself tonight, but bro, hey, awesome job. But listen, y'all know what time it is. It's time to mix words and emotions with confidence and emphasis. You see, it's the hottest show with a poetic flow from the one that brought you right and chill, often imitated, but no one ever duplicates the feels. Every Tuesday night, except for tonight at 10 Central, our words weigh heavy on your mental. You see, we interrupt your normal program to bring you J.O. Speaks Poetry Slam, y'all. Let's go. Hey, tonight we got us a show, y'all. Tonight is the Elite Eight. 2 people will be disqualified, leaving us with the significant 6. Tonight we are making our ancestors proud. The judges have set the stage. Hopefully we didn't clear the animosity, the fear, whatever you dealing with is gone, y'all. Tonight we about to get this good poems on. So, hey, with no further ado, give it up for the one in the number 1 seat. I'll give it up for Sunshine Lombre.
I'm on my stuff, I'm on my grind. Show me the money, hand me a lime. I got the salt along with the sweet tequila slime. Ease into my rhyme. I'll have your tongue clicking. With the rhythms, I be spitting like time's only ticking. With the rhythms, I be spitting, but you'll see in time. But first, ease into a sensuality that's sublime. And then I will climb into galaxies way up high, and you will find nonstop twinkling and sweet synchronicities that will remind you the world is kind, with infinite hands reaching out to hold you, with no intention to snatch, scratch, or scold you, only to behold you like the sweet, beautiful baby that you are, the blessings that you are, the beauty that you are, because you are proof of the survivors. It's through your blood that they revive their essence on earth and vibrate higher. Through you, they harmonize like a choir. For you, the stars shine a little brighter. And with all the many affirming reminders, my head gets to spinning while I'm flipping through the minutes, because time's always ticking and I'm leaking out good deeds that'll have them freaking out. Scream and shout, like there ain't nothing else to talk about. Roll off your tongue, I'm in your mouth. Breathe me in and blow me out. I'm about making my ancestors proud. Because they live through me. Yes, they live through me. Yes, they live through me. Yes, they live through me. And now I'm about to run. Like they shot me out the gun and I'm going to run. Like a bullet racing to ricochet like it's fun. And I'm going to run towards my dreams till I get them done. And I'm going to run till I'm done rotating around the sun. And I'm going to run. And I'm going to run. And I'm going to run. And I'm going to run until it's all done. Till the war is done. Till the war is won. Best believe I'm going to run.
Let's go. Let's run. Hey, Uno, it's on you. Let's run with it.
I see what you did there, Jay.
You see it?
Yeah. Sunshine, Lombre. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your peace, and I appreciate you. For me, the flow was nice. Being that I'm an artist, I like the rap element that the rhythmic element that you put on your piece. But it felt like the prompt was forced. Like you just threw that, making my ancestors proud in there just to. Oh, I hit the prompt. I didn't feel like it was on prompt. It was a little everywhere for me. And with that being said, Mama, I'll give you a 7.5. I appreciate it.
All right, 7.5. All right, Kimberly Stewart.
Hey, love, sunshine. My favorite hair of the season. Let's go. So, for me, I I shouldn't ever expect, because this is week 2. So I expected something different from you. Um, but I don't know you yet. So it was a pleasant surprise. Um, but here's what I would say, kind of on the lines of what Uno just said. I feel like this poem either wasn't finished or it was forced. Um, or maybe because it was already finished and you forced the prompt in it. I'm not sure. But it didn't feel like it was like gelled together. Um, you know, I heard the part of the line where you were talking about the baby, and I was like, okay, she's about to connect it, right? And then it didn't really all the way connect. And so I don't know. I was kind of back and forth. I wanted to like it more than I did. I was ready to like start this night off with another 10, like, you know? So I don't know. I guess I think my expectancy kind of set you up for failure a little bit. Um, I thought this week was like yours. I thought we were in your bag this week. So with all that, I'll give you a 7.8.
All right, 7.8. All right, y'all. We on that poets roll. Hey, Tamara Blue, it's on you. I think you're on mute, Tamara.
How's that? I got so nervous right now because I really liked the words in your poem. I don't think you're ready to present it yet, if that makes sense. I really enjoyed your flow at the top. I think that you need to repeat that flow. But throughout the poem, I felt like you wore out your rhyme pattern so much. Like you would hit one rhyme and you would stay on that done, fun, come, bum for so long that it became like, but I still was with you, if that makes sense. So I feel like that type of flow can be cool if you get it on a flow. So then those going on those same rhyme patterns so much will hit better if you stay in that flow from the top. So all that to say, I liked it, but I have to give it a 6.5.
All right, 6.5. Brandon Lee.
Unmuted. Did that properly. So I break spoken word down protypically into several categories. So I'm just going to give you the scores that you got for particular categories. I'm giving each thing gets you 2 points except for subjectivity that gets you 1. Subjectivity is kind of like your bonus points. So for theme, I gave you a 1. Similar to other people, I thought that subject wise, it was kind of spastic or all over the place at times. Lyricism, I gave you a 1. I thought your flow was dope, but similar to what Tamara was talking about, I thought that you know, the continued use of the rhyme, there's pockets where it was influential and it made great sense, but that it didn't necessarily stay well. Performance wise, I give you a 1.5. I thought that was really good. I saw you put like real attention to detail on particular movements. I thought that went really well. Emotionality, I gave you a 1. Memorization, I gave you a 2. And subjectivity, I gave you a 0.5, which leaves you with a grand total of a whole 7 from me.
All right. I'm glad you added, because I was over here like, Brandon got me doing math over here.
You ain't got to do no math. I got the totals for you, G, but you got a 7.
I appreciate you. I got you. All right, Lachelle the Shooter, it's on you.
Yeah, prompt writing is tough. And it kind of showed in this particular piece for you that it was tough. So I'm not gonna hit on all the points, on any of the points. I think the rest of my judges already said them. So I'll just give my score, and for me, it was also a 7.
Okay, 7. I appreciate you. All right, Sunshine Lumbre, I appreciate your please. Appreciate you coming out. Listen, we're gonna put you backstage, and just for the record, y'all. So tonight, the winner, there's actually 2 winners. The actual client will pick a winner, and the poets tonight will declare a winner. So even if the poets go home tonight, they still have a chance at winning the client over. So that's the dope thing about bringing in clients. All right, Sunshine, we're gonna put you backstage. I appreciate you. All right. Y'all gonna keep this show going. I don't want to keep y'all up late. I know what y'all gotta do tomorrow. So coming to the stage, give it up for Madam President. Let's go.
Proud. Proud. People. Proud. Proud. People, my peers. It is with pleasure and pride the privilege has been placed upon me to pronounce us premium, to proclaim us as prime, perceived to be pointless pieces on this planet, but we paved it, paved our paths, pushed past pain and plunged into poisonous predicaments, producing pinnacles, pyramids, peaks. We will persist and progress. We postulate the prophet of planted seeds because we were permitted by none other than God. My people possess power. We must be proud. Proud. Rather rash, raw, or reckless at times. Remember, unreasonable, unruly, rushing into resolution, ready for a road of riddle. That is our reality. A ride replete with rhetorical reasoning of self, revolving doors, resistant roadblocks, restless nights, and rude awakenings. Our rehearsals, recitals, rituals have rescued us from rivals. Redeem and reclaim your right. Render yourselves rampant with righteousness as we are as rare as rubies and rich with rectitude. We have every reason to be proud. 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 Outstanding. Outlasting, owning the opportunity as it is ours, only ours, obliged to ourselves, ordering our own opulence, offered only ordinary, but output extraordinary. The odds were never in our favor. Open doors were occasional. Objectives occluded with obstacles, but we knew it was obtainable. Our occult knowledge ordained from Christ, our being from olfactic to optic is orphic. The omniscient, omnipotent, chosen us. We must be proud. 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 Us. It was us that were unequipped with useful utensils, so we invented them. Unsuited but unstoppable, unfit but not unable, undermined but unexpectedly conquerors. Our umber skin united is unequivocally strong. We may always be unnamed, unnoticed, and uncelebrated, but our utilities may be never, and our utilities may be unheard or unnoticed. And uproariously and in unison utter good fortune over our futures. Use us, Lord, as ultimate vessels of your unnatural abilities, as we are unimportant without you, but urgent with you, unstable without you, but unencumbered with you. We are undeniably proud. 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 Down in dark places, driven to delusions, but we dictate doom's defeat. We dance in domination of dog days, depart from discombobulations, disconnect from distractions, discard of demons. Diligent work needs to be done as we diverge into different dynamic directions, but your domain will keep you docked. Deem yourselves deities of any district you may claim. Don't doubt yourselves. Be dangerous. Dare to be distinctly disparate. Be proud. Proud. Proud.
Do that shit.
Tamara.
Uh,
I feel you though. Watch the language. Hey, I'm the host. I gotta stay biased, so I'm gonna just say Uno. It's on you. You on mute.
Madam President, thank you for your time. Thank you for your piece. I appreciate you. Last week your pace was you're very controlled. You stayed controlled this week as well, but you picked up the pace a little bit. You didn't bring a crayon. You didn't bring a like water marker. You brought your pen today, so you were snappy. I like the way you went from A to Z and tried to come back with it. The only thing that I picked out is you had when you had your little stumble, you almost started to speed up, but you kept your pace. I like that. And then it was just a little long, just a little lengthy. So with that being said, my 9.2. I appreciate you.
All right, 9.2. Kimberly Stewart, it's on you.
Madam President, yo. So here's what I'm gonna say. First of all, your pen, check. Girl, woman. Like they say down south, woman. Oh, child, honey, boo boo. That pen is Had to be smoking when you was done with that one. Um, my critique is I have no clue who you are though. Um, and you're probably one of the only poets in the competition that like I don't know your personality. I have no clue what it is. And this performance did not clue me in. It let me know that like, I got from week one, you're very intellectual. But I don't have anything that I can seriously remember about your personality. You did a great job in naming yourself Madam President because I'm like, oh, okay. Um, but give me something next week. As long as you stay here, give me something to remember you by. Because a good poem can be read by anybody, can be said by anybody. But what makes the difference when Madam President says it? But with that, honey, that pen was so on fire. I got an 8.5 for you.
All right, 8.5. Y'all, we on that poets roll. Y'all heard Tamara Blue. She was a little excited. So I'm excited, excuse me, to hear what she got to say. Tamara Blue, it's on you.
I mean, these are the kind of poems I like. This is from where I come from. This is the time that I come from. This is the kind of poems I like.
Let's go.
I like that you had your Bantu knots in. I like that you when I realized what you were doing, it just smacked me in the face. And then I was on it. I was like, every sentence better mean something. Don't just throw me no letters in here. And when you started talking about, I can't even remember because I wasn't taking notes. I started getting so into it that I couldn't even take my notes. The only note I wrote down was Sojourner Truth. So I'm gonna give you a 9.5 because I do think that your performance of it will get better. And I feel like you just wrote this. So once you get it, you can rip this poem everywhere.
Mm, that's dope. All right, Brandon Leak, it's on you.
So I'm gonna give my score, but then I have a unique criticism particular to writing for a client for you. Just just as a heads up. So theme 1.5, lyricism 2, performance point 0.7, emotionality 0.5, memorization 2, subjectivity 1.5. That leads to a grand total score of 8.2. We'll round that up to 8. It's 8.25, so I'll round that up 8.3 for you. I thought that you were great lyrically. Emotionally, I just didn't connect with you. I felt great lyrics coming about, but not necessarily a connection to you as the author of it. I didn't learn, as somebody mentioned earlier, I didn't feel the attachment to you personally. Now, here's the unique part about writing for a client. I don't know who this client particularly is, but if it's not a poetic audience, then this poem likely won't be selected for the sole fact that the lyricism is so densely heavy that the average consumer would probably struggle trying to connect with it. I loved it because I love the pen work, but as just a piece of seldom advice, the average American has like a 4th to 5th grade reading level, and your immense utilization of things like alliteration, of poetic devices, is something that'll go over like an ad service's head in that regard. But in terms of just a poet's poem, an 8.3. Good work.
For sure, for sure. Good feedback, especially the dichotomy of the client and also just a poet perception as well. Michelle, it's on you.
Yeah, so Brendan actually like hit it right on the head. Again, it's tough when you got like somebody like a Brandon going right before you. But again, I had the same reaction where like I heard you and the poem is extremely well written, but I didn't connect to you as someone in the audience. Particularly because again, while it is well written, right? I think you did so much to make it intellectual that you removed the emotion from it in your performance. So there just wasn't that gap there. So I think in terms of this poem, If you are looking for that connection specifically, like Brandon is saying, for a vendor, like a client, um, trying to bridge the emotion into that as well without compromising the integrity of the alliteration will work really, really well for this piece to really make it stand out for any audience that you put it in front of, because it is well written. So the poets will love it. But once you add that emotional aspect in it by just condensing a little bit in that sense, it'll slap for any and every audience, I think. So with that being said, I'll give you an 8.5.
8.5. Let's go. Madam President, hey, you did your thing. I was following, I was rocking. Dope setup, dope poem. We're gonna slide you backstage and we're gonna keep this show rolling. Hey, next up, y'all see my man. He came with it last week. He was in the top. I don't want to set it up too much, but y'all put your hands together, put the flames in the comment for Stephen Logan. Let's go.
In 2023, I'm still fighting my ancestors' demons. Still white robe language, still Jim Crow, just a modified dialect. And lynchings still exist. They just traded in their ropes for kneecaps and bullets, and even now, I can hear their screams. Coming from across the ocean, from the bowels of the white lion that arrived in 1619 with a collection of stolen black bodies whose feet dragged on stolen land. Their screams became my call to action. So I carry 1920 Harlem Renaissance on my tongue, and with every stroke of my pen, I imbue Langston in my hue. But depending on the day, my words are out to bruise you like Malcolm or inspire you like Martin. Either way, healing is found in both. I seek to silence the white systematic oppression with this white noise suggesting that black voices are best kept in caskets. So I become voice for the voiceless, carrying the traditions of the millions of black men and women who marched on Washington, refusing to take a back seat like Rosa, whose soul grew tired of waiting for some day to come so they can finally overcome. I will pass this artistry down to my offspring, praying that their feet are never toe tagged, name never prefaced with hashtag. I will web Dubois into their black soul, and with every twist and curl, I will braid a heel of heritage on top of their crown. I will raise them and teach them to rise like Amaya, fight like Assata, and run this country like Michelle Obama, because everyone knows that behind a black man, there's a black queen from the south side of Chicago who's built stronger than the Willis Tower. Black Lives Matter will never be a question, for I will breathe affirmation into their melanin while they're learning that black is so beautiful, that God created the sun just so it could kiss its skin. And on that fine day, when I am blessed to be seated front row centered at graduation, whether it's at the height of Lincoln University in Pennsylvania or all the way down in Florida at FAMU, my offspring's heartbeats HBCU, because they about making their ancestors proud. See, it's more than words stitched in fabric. It's history, it's my why, it's poem, it's anthem, it's great-grandmama's favorite hymn. More than store, it's movement, it's battle cry and protest. So say it loud, I'm black, and I'm about making my ancestors proud.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm black and I'm about making my ancestors proud. Y'all see it. Uno, it's on you.
Steven, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your piece. I appreciate you. Yeah, man, I was very, 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 very much so interested on how you were going to come at this, because I thought this was your wheelhouse, because you give us the Southern Baptist preacher delivery, and that's what I got. And with making your ancestors proud, you really hit the prompt. I didn't have a question of what you were talking about, and you were on the prompt. A few little stumbles, but for the most part, man, I enjoyed the piece. I enjoyed the piece. Don't take this the wrong way. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't nothing that stood out. It wasn't like memorable. It didn't make me say, "Oh, I remember this bar in particular." Don't take it the wrong way, but I did appreciate it. 9.
All right, 9. All right, Kimberly Stewart, it's on you.
What up, Steven? Listen, if I was the client, the show has just begun. Um, there were so many things that you hit on that a broad general audience, especially a broad general audience of Black folk, could really sink their teeth into and really be able to feel like they were connected to. Also, your performance, you, even with the stumbles, we can feel you. We can feel you pulling. From week one, Uno prescribed your personality and it totally fits. I'm going to tell you, your background is unacceptable. I need you to get that together. This is your stage. Make it such. You know what I'm saying? Like, get it together. Other than that, I like you. I don't think the poem was like super. I feel like, you know what? Here, no. Let me come back. I feel like if you knew that poem better, it would have been fire, flame, fire, and there would have been nothing we could say about it. But because you were a little stumbly with it and didn't really have it all the way memorized, it felt regular, right? So I'm gonna give you a 9 as well.
All right, 9 for Steven. That's what's up. All right, it's on you, Tamara.
I'm really gonna have to go first every single time.
We'll switch it up next week.
I'll go
Um,
first. I'll gladly volunteer for it.
All right,
I'll
we'll
take
switch
it.
it up next week.
No, he said next week. This is the show. You don't change production. Um, I don't know what my feedback is. I heard it, and I guess that's the thing. Similar to the last poem, where I didn't care about the client, didn't hear the client. When it started to feel too clienty, I lost connection. When I felt like you were writing for the client, and I wasn't sure if you, you know, believed these things yourself, I just kind of I don't know. I didn't feel as connected to it. So I'll go with the 7.5.
All right, 7.5. All right, Brandon Leak, it's on you.
All right, so typical fashion. I'm gonna give you my breakdown. Um, I have you on theme for a 2. When it comes to your lyricism, I gave you a 1.3. Performance, a 1.5. Emotionality, 1.5. Memorization, 1.5. And then I gave you a 1.5 in terms of subjectivity. So that gives you an 8.3. I think that you suffered from the exact opposite issue as our former poet. I think that where she went immensely intellectual and less personal, you went deeply personal, but then stripped yourself of the other things that could have been featured. And so, yeah, dog. And then memorization, knocks you back. So, but yeah, no, that'd be where I stand on it.
All right, appreciate you. Good feedback. All right, Lachelle the shooter.
So this is an aside for you and for every poet who comes up here. Um, I recognize the difficulty in writing a prompt, getting a new poem, and trying to memorize it. I am not a stickler for memorization, right? I want a good performance. So if you can perform well with reading on a paper, I'm completely fine with that, right? Like, not everybody has the ability to memorize poems. So if you think that you need to read to make yourself perform that poem better, then you do it. All right. So that's for you and for anybody else. Like, it takes work to do this. So don't bother yourself into that belief that you have to memorize everything. Not all of us do. So aside from that, just for you personally, what I got from this is that you tried to be so head on with the prompt that you found yourself tying into a lot of cliches. trying to really stand on what the general public knows, like Brandon said, in a sense, right? Just bringing up the same names that we consistently hear and those recurring subjects that are like really popular right now, instead of owning that you are a poet and you are a lyricist, right? We heard you last week. We know you can do that. So yeah, it did really remove the poet from here because you stood so much into the prompt that you tried to that you nearly just made it, I don't know, generic in a sense for me. That's kind of what it felt like for me. It felt a little generic in terms of how you utilize like the names of different people and the Black Lives Matter. It just felt really generic, which can also be a downside when you're looking in a room full of Black people, because it's like, this poem ain't actually for me, it's for like somebody else. So for me, I will also give it a 7.5.
All right, 7.5. Yo, these are some fire comments. Steven Logan, I appreciate you, bro. Hey, awesome pen, awesome job, bro. We'll put you backstage. And y'all, we about to keep this night going. Hey, y'all seen him last week. He was like the best friend for bars. Like, I love it when friends in a competition and still hyping each other up, yo. I think it is awesome. Y'all, give it up for my man, Symbolic, y'all. Let's go.
If I was a grain of sand, my minerals would be of the descendants standing over Negro spirituals. My ancestors were buried underground for what? I was born a gravesite, offspring to the beaten ancestors to grow to be cemented, being the seeds of this world's animosity, and all I ever did was grow to be beautiful. Engraved into these roots, provided by thee to be cut by society and dissolving into limbs, to be part of a partial tongue of a founding fathers whose words then spoke Negro. Handcrafted teeth to be wooden to bite, handcrafted teeth, wooden teeth to be bite into our own legacies. Fuck. If I was a grain of sand, I'd be the memories of my descendants standing on Negro spirituals. My ancestors was buried underground. For what? I was born a gravesite, the offspring of my beaten ancestors to grow to be cemented, being the seeds of the animosity of the words, and all I did was grow to be beautiful. I apologize. We gonna run this back one more time. Y'all gonna feel it. Don't even worry about it.
No need to apologize, dog. Let's get it together.
Don't even worry about it. This is for the ancestors. Don't even worry about it, y'all.
You got it.
Ashe, brother, Ashe.
Don't even worry about it. If I was a grain from sand, I'd be the minerals of my descendants standing over Negro spirituals. My ancestors were buried underground for what? I am born of a gravesite, offspring to my ancestors, just to be grown into cemented. You see, these seeds are the seeds of the animosity of this world, and all I did was grow to be beautiful. Damn, it's cool. I'm not even gonna try to do this to y'all. It's fine. I'm not feeling it right, and I apologize.
Read it, dog.
Read it. I literally just told y'all to read.
Read it, dog.
I don't like that for me. All right. If I was a grain of sand, I'd be the minerals of my descendants stepping in Negro spirituals. My ancestors buried underground for what? I was born a gravesite, offspring to beaten ancestors to grow with the cemented, becoming the seeds of this world's animosity, and all we did was grow to be beautiful. Embedded in these roots, provided by thee, all for society to cut us down, dissolving our limbs, to be a part of a partial tongue of a founding father whose words then spoke Negro, handcrafted teeth that they call wooden to bite into our legacy. They pollute us with hatred, then leave us as hollow thoughts on a willow tree, weld into our shoulder blades, weld into my tree barks as I watch the wind of the words of the innocents rule suicide as if the noose as if the noose didn't speak of their last whispers. Not too much on black when they dread from our roots and take shine of the blood amongst the soil. What does that mean for the square root of us? Not too much on the blood of blacks as they leave us unless it's dead. And ain't it funny how the vines of my family tree remind me of the veins of my family members' strength that we bleed? That they cling to us like branches, leaving hieroglyph souls carved into stone to tar into my kin's story, wanting us dead with each plant we breed again. I'm the ancestral ghostwriter. And this black be mint condition, budding into the man that you see before you, that I'm about making my ancestors proud, knowing that our bones made the stem of this America's soil that this country so proudly stands on, so much so that they know that black grows from a concrete, that when things get tough, we make it out, that the sun energizes our skin, that the tone of this earth thrives in color, that we beat stereotypes swimming past black and blue. Don't they know black is crack, don't crack? Don't they know black don't crack? Black isn't a trend. It's a flex. Sleep on me, watch my melanin shine. As they get tired, get the melatonin, my tone is in. For I've been making my ancestors proud, and I finally get it. I finally understand why they hate on me, because they see me shine like obsidian. I guess they not used to my black boy joy. So place me on your altar. Make me go into different timelines so I can understand why society doesn't care for me. And I'll still be the root that grows. And as the dust starts to clear, you'll see that this is my heritage. As the mineral goes into the perfect image of black excellence. I'm about making my ancestors proud, all by breathing black.
All right, my boy, I appreciate you pushing through. Hey, like Lachelle said, you can read it because it's more about the delivery than the memorization. I think a lot of times you lose a lot when you're trying to just flex with the memorization. Like, hey, Uno, it's on you.
Symbolic. I appreciate your time. Thank you for your piece. I appreciate you. I wanna give your hats off for fighting through that. Fighting through it. I know it was tough. You got through it. Your pen is nice. When you sat down and gave me what I needed to hear, you connect. It made it more believable for me. But I have to say this. From day one, Jay has said it's a clean show. Even with the emotions running high, you dropped a couple on me, so I got to give you a 4, bro. Appreciate you.
All right, 4. All right, Kimberly Stewart.
Symbolic. So let me just say this for all poets before I go in. 2 things. One, the reading comment, the reading critiques that you guys hear is about connection. I want you guys to understand that some of the best poets out here read their poetry. I was one who read a lot, and sometimes I memorized and so on and so forth. But we have to believe it, and we have to connect with it. And so there are poets that have not mastered that. You get to reading and your eyes are distracted, your focus and your attention is distracted. What I loved about what you just did was you closed your eyes, and even when you had to go back to your page, you were still all the way in it. I don't feel like you ever get knocked for that. Stay in it, stay focused on us. We're the audience. We only have what you give us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The second thing that I'm going to talk about is this language piece. Y'all get real brand new. Like, here's the deal. When you have to go to a job, or when there's like real things on the line, things that you feel are real, that mouth gets cleaned up real quick for most people. And so it just baffles me. Because in my day, whatever the rules were of the house, those were the rules, no matter how we felt. Like, or risk getting the mic taken away from you, or the lights getting shut off. And maybe that's, I'm old, so maybe I'm showing my age, you know what I'm saying? But like, Man, I didn't seen a few people get gonged off the stage, pulled by a Bo Peep cane, lights shut off, mic turned off, all kinds of things because they didn't abide by the rules. And the rules of the house are the rules of the house, like, period. There is no nothing. So, I mean, unfortunately for that, I don't really have a score for you, because I just think I am that for real on it. Here's also what I'll say. Where you ended up is where you should have began. Remember, poets, nobody on this stage, unless they're people that you bring out, most people that are watching, we don't know you. We have no clue who you are. This is the first time encountering you. We don't know about your brand. We know nothing. So the more you can do with your background, with how you set yourself up in the frame, the better. Because we need to know you. We're trying to figure who you are. We're trying to figure that thing out. And so when you sat down and I could see your face and you connected, I could feel your emotion and I could like literally get in there with you, then sure, like that let me know, okay, this is symbolic. He's passionate about what he does. And but that standing up, the camera pointed up, like use the production meetings. Come early. Make sure your camera, your angle, and your sound is like together. Y'all can do that because you owe yourselves that. Okay, I'm done. I'm long-winded. I guess as a default, I'll give you a 3.
All right, 3. All right, we're on the poets row. Camera blue, kicking it off.
Symbolic. Whatever. You just wrote this poem, so everything before you sat down, I literally don't remember. When you sat down, I liked the energy in which you read your poem. I liked it. I liked the something obsidian and shining like black, put me on the altar, put me through timelines. All that whole section there brought me in because for me, I'm not client based. Like for me, it made me realize that you knew what you were talking about, or at least you had looked up your stuff and that it was passionate for you when you were talking about it. And then just the way you sat and just spit your poem. But because it's a slam and it did take you so much time to decide to sit down and just read your poem, I'm going to go with a 7.3.
All right, 7.3. All right, Brandon Leak.
Awesome. I'll make it plain. Theme 1.5, lyricism 1.5, performance 0, emotionality 1.5, subjectivity 1. So you got a 5.5 from me. I appreciate your perseverance to fight through it. That's a hard thing to do, especially I can tell that it meant something personally to you to get it off. Here's just my resonant piece of advice to all poets who have any aspirations to be a professional poet. You can never give up when you're on stage. For yourself, for your client, for whomever. If somebody's paying you to be on that stage to go deliver a piece of content, you have to finish, no matter what. Like, that is your job at that moment. You're being compensated to go do that. And that's essentially what this is an audition for, is an opportunity to be able to go get that. So never relinquish that. Even if you got to pick it up, shoot, dog. I've seen battle rappers whip out a phone, and that's egregious in battle rap to be reading bars off of a phone. You feel me? And spoken word, just run it. Give us the best quality version of it you can. And I'm proud of you for having shifted and adjusted to that, because that's hard to do. It's a humbling pill to swallow, but you did it. Thank you.
So, y'all, good feedback. All right, Michelle the Shooter.
Yeah, Poet Me loved it, Sam. Like once you sat down and let yourself get into that poem, it was a well-written poem. It's the first, it came out here where it was on the prompt, but it was still authentic to Sam. Right. I'm not the client. I don't care. But I think there is a client for that piece regardless, even if it's not that one today. There is a client for that piece because it was well done and it was so passionate, and I could tell that you actually took the time to dig into that and pull it out. Um, Again, I'm gonna say it for you, for everybody. Like Brandon said, sometimes you gotta humble yourself and be okay reading. Let the ableism go. Read the poem, deliver the poem the best way that you can so it comes out. But all in all, with that being said, I'm gonna have to give you a 6.3.
All right, 6.3. All right, symbolic. I appreciate your piece, my boy. Appreciate your perseverance for pushing through. We'll put you backstage. And y'all, we about to keep this night rolling. Last week, I messed my man name up. I
J
told
J
him,
J J, wait,
yeah,
wait,
yeah.
wait, wait. I gotta say
Yeah.
something.
All right, go ahead.
Y'all know what I'm about to say. My boy is covering a lot of overhead to put this platform in this nice little event that we have, series after series after series, and we getting ready to go up to the All Star. So if you can help my man cover and make sure he pays everybody, because he does have a payroll, he does have a good little platform. We all enjoy ourselves, so hit that cash out, drop it on my boy Jo Speaks. Any donations from $1, $10, 100, 1,000. If you got your taxes, hit us up. Appreciate it.
All right, I appreciate y'all. Definitely, y'all can help out. One, two, three, y'all. It all helps out. We're definitely gearing up for the All Stars. Hey, we're trying to connect y'all with clients and connect, you know what I'm saying, with all with great judges with great feedback. So whatever you can, whatever you can do, it definitely is greatly appreciated. It's going right back into the pockets of the poets. I'm all about making the poets greater. Hey, I don't like that,
Absolutely.
but let's go. Hey, we got to keep this show going. I didn't write my little spiel, so hey, I just came off the dome. Last week I messed his name up. I said I'm not getting it wrong this week. Hey, put your hands together for A Tights. Let's go.
I've never understood how the flower taken from its homeland still grows roots in unfamiliar soil. To be able to sprout petals without knowing whether or not its foundation is solid, unable to be watered on a consistent basis, and yet it flourishes. No nourishment, false encouragement, so the equipment they use leaves his body malnourished. But what if this isn't about a flower? What if a man was taken from his homeland and forced to multiply without knowing his consequences would trickle down to his kids? His arms no longer reach his seeds that were taken from him, and now evolution has caused them to spread like wildfire, only to forget where they came from. What if this man was my grandfather? He grew past every rolling stone, except for his tomb. I've never met this man a day in my life, and I wish I could tell him that I'm growing without showing him I've started a business, a family. I've even given my life over to God, and all I want to do is properly thank you. We don't know each other, but the adversity you face graced me with the opportunity to uplift my people. So what if God had me bloom years after you planted me in uncomfortable situations that only I can make you proud? So when I find you, I'll give you your flowers. Thank you.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, Tice. Hey, Uno. It's on you.
Hey, let's see. Hey, Tice. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your piece. I appreciate you. Man, you showed with the prompt, you took a personal approach to the ancestors. That was for your grandfather, and you was trying to make him proud without even saying the catch line. I dig that. I dig that. That was pretty dope. You had just enough emotion for the piece. It was the right time. I was in the whole time. I enjoyed myself. So 9.3. I appreciate it.
Let's go. 9.3. All right, Kimberly Stewart. It's on you.
I think I'm on a soapbox tonight. Um, Poets, next week before the poetry slam starts, get here early. Y'all need to get y'all production together. It's annoying. As the brand chick, I'm annoyed. Cut y'all's face cut off, lighting ain't together, background's a mess. What y'all doing? Like, we're all grown-ups here. And the age of being online and being in a box is not new. We just went through a whole panini, okay? And everybody was in a box. Make your box do something, because unless y'all is coming out here spitting fire 10-piece poems every single week, like, what else do we have to remember you by? You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna take everything we do as judges. And I'm just gonna put you up on game. You're here to compete. We see poets every single season, and so naturally, at least with Uno and I, you're gonna be compared, right? You're gonna be like thought about as you think of other poets, even on the poets row, you're being compared to other poets that they see. They see poets every day, every week, every time they go perform. So I'm off my soapbox for a minute, but I'm gonna stay on it all night because y'all need to get it together. Like, I'm tired. And it's the worst this season. Like, y'all are the worst. So I need y'all to get into the production of
So
what's
how was the
coming.
poem?
I'll get to that in a minute. Like, don't be rude. I'll get to it.
I was
But
just
this is
saying.
all of it. Because I'm here, every single judge is here for something different. And it doesn't matter what the poem is if I don't remember you. Why does it matter? I have no clue who you are. I'm not gonna come looking for you. I'm not following you on Instagram. I'm not hiring you for a gig, and I got checks to write. You know what I'm saying? Like, does it really matter? So, I mean, with that being said, you get a 1.
All right, one. Y'all, we on the poets row. Tamara Blue, she hates kicking it off. All right, it's on you though, Tamara. Can you follow that?
I don't know if I hate kicking it off or if I just don't like going behind Kimberly. I can't. I don't know which one it is because I'd be like, okay. For the poem, let me go to my notes. Sorry, and I think my you started, and I guess that goes to what Kimberly was saying. You started before the camera was really on you. The intro was going, and you had already started speaking. So if you're gonna come to the slam, come and like know whatever the plans are. If there's somebody says like, so you know what the startup is, because I missed the first part of the poem, so I didn't know exactly what was going on. I wanted more imagery from you. I liked the story, but like I would have loved to hear. I think one of the lines was something that you went through, but there was no visual for what you went through. Like I could see you from last week being able to be more provide more imagery and more visuals with it. And your performance was good. I didn't care for the angle because I couldn't see your eyes. I don't know if you knew that was going on, so I'm gonna go with the 7.
All right, 7. All right, Brandon Leak, it's on you.
Give me 1 second. My apologies. I'm doing my maths here with my
He's doing
complicated
his math.
calculations.
I love it. I'm
Hey
glad
yo,
he doing
I
it.
try to
I
be
was trying to
consistent.
figure
You
out
feel me?
when he
All
started
right.
doing the 0.7 plus the 0.5, I was a little confused myself. I'm just let you know.
I got you. Theme 1.5, lyricism 1.2, performance 1, emotionality 1.5, memorization 2, subjectivity 1 or zero point 0.5, which gives you 7.7. I agree. Well, Tice, you my boy. I know you. But also in knowing you, I judge you more harshly. But no, you started early, so I did miss those first 2 lines. So that part was hard for me because I know as you tapered in to the part about your grandfather, I'm like, man, what did I miss that could have been held captive for me in that regard? Um, I think that your greatest benefit is your emotionality with this piece. That was something that, of all the poets today, I think your emotionality was like the best thing that you did in that regard. In terms of serving a client, I don't know if the immense personal portion of it would be super replicable for everybody else, but poem wise, I thought it was good. I know your work, so I know that you have better poems in your arsenal, but writing for this in such a short period of time, I thought you did a pretty good job, hence the 7.7. Still room to grow up, though. Good work, dog.
All right, good feedback, Brandon. All right, Lachelle the shooter. It's on you.
Hey, Tice, you're muted. I'm okay if you want to ask a question.
Yeah, just really quickly. I started about 5 seconds after it said you're in the show, so I did try to give the time frame for it to do. I just want to make that clear. So I do hear you guys, but I do just want to make that clear. It said you're in the show. I waited about 5 seconds before I started, so I
Yeah.
do apologize. But thank you guys for letting me know that.
Yeah, so the intro is a little longer, so you did get caught by it. Yeah, no worries. In terms of the poem for me, I appreciate that she took a new take on this one. That was different from everybody else's, right? Not super literal. As a poet, it's our job to interpret this, and sometimes the client don't know what they need until you give it to them too, right? So if you can take a good spin on it to make it still applicable to any situation, it still works. But to that regard, if you're thinking client, which I'm not thinking in this case, but just as a general note, right? Be mindful of personal stories. And if you're going to do a personal story, you had plenty of time to tie in some incremental things to make this also broader in the range, so that it could be personal and applied to another population. But I think in terms of the writing, your performance was substantially better from last week also. I genuinely enjoyed this piece and the spin on it. So for me, it's still an 8.
All right, let's go. 8. I appreciate your feedback, Lachelle. Hey, I gotta say something. Y'all, these comments going hard, yo. That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't gonna read them out loud. Y'all see them down there. Hey, listen, y'all. We done made it to the end of the night. We have gotten to the end of the show, y'all. Y'all did it. It was not long as last week. My man came in first last week, and it's crazy that he got the last spot tonight, y'all. So put your flames in the comments for none other than Bars. Let's go.
I remember my first haircut. I was but a small sapling planted in the oldest chair at the barbershop, surrounded by pillars of wisdom, with weathered walls wrought with wellspring eyes of Muhammad Ali, Jackie Robinson, Dr. King, and Malcolm X. It was the first time I was sat before my forefathers. The first time I ever felt my ancestors watching over me. I was only 3 years old. Now take that number and add 30 to it to jump to the present, where I've repeatedly unwrapped a valuable life lesson. This society despises me. What I call crown, they call unruly, unfit, unkempt, unbecoming of the workplace. They claim that my hair doesn't speak a dialect proper enough for them to translate. And then they turn right around just to go to the fashion show wearing their favorite foreign language. My heritage is not a cosplay. Not meant to be shrunken and forced into the white definition of conventional. Every time I look at a comb, I have to comb through a mausoleum of memories, searching for moments where I didn't have to brush away centuries of racist buildup. If I had a dime for every time a white woman touched my hair without my consent, I'd have exactly 10 cents. And that's a whole lot more sense than she ever carried. Her genes were too full of ignorance to make room for change. My heritage is a constant uphill battle. It's going against the grain. It's knowing that I can't relax for a single second because my life could be cut short at any minute. And I don't want to see my family tree get chopped down and fade to black. If you think I'd ever be okay with that, then just like a barber who can't keep his head steady, You got my line messed up. That's far too much energy poured into me from the richest of histories. Did you know that many slaves were forced to shave their heads to be seen as sanitary? Did you know that many slaves braided their hairs into cornrows, twisted the braid patterns to create and conceal maps that they used to escape the plantations? What I'm saying is my heritage is a freedom song orchestrated on the scalps of my ancestors, the ones who endured, the ones who ensured a foundation for a legacy they'd never see come to fruition. So it rests on my head and shoulders to complete their mission, no matter how deeply we've been conditioned to believe that this is inappropriate. It's not true. I'm about making my ancestors proud, not you. Tell me, how can my hair be considered unprofessional when it's always been my natural line of work to survive? These 9 to 5s may nurture my bills, but these greenbacks won't outline the black ones or the weight of all that we carried. My heritage is buried beneath the roots that sprouted these locks, planted long before we were ever freed. I am my ancestors' wildest seed, and I will toil in the soil until my fingers bleed. I remember my first haircut like it was yesterday, because it was the last time that you could get one for only $3. Take that number and add 30 to jump to the present. My heritage is a present, a generational gift, passed down my lineage from one crown to the next. Poem.
Yo, bars. Hey, Uno, it's on you.
Bars. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your peace, and I appreciate you. Listen, I don't care what nobody say, bro. I appreciate your professionalism. You came and took this serious. You ain't reading off nothing, because you take your craft serious, right? Everybody had the same amount of time, but you take your craft serious, right? Everybody got life, but you take your craft serious. I appreciate the emotion that you put in it. I, the room was all shaking. Everything was going haywire, right? The judges was doing this, the contestants was doing that, the comments was doing this. You came and settled everything down and say, "Hey, shut up, I'm talking." I appreciate you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you for settling all the mess around. You were the most professional poet on this panel tonight. You were the best tonight, and therefore you'll get my best score, which is a 9.5. Salute, King.
Let's go. 9.5. All right, Kimberly Stewart, it's on you.
Bars. Yeah. Bars, you're a genius, first of all. Let me just say, as the branding chick, I get awards for what I do. Okay. Google me. Okay. You are a genius. First of all, from your name to the shirt that you wore to heritage, hair, itage, heritage. Boy, listen. Okay, you made me tickled. I was completely tickled from the beginning of your poem to the end of your poem. Okay, you made me happy. You made me proud. As a Southern belle, I was just like, I'm from Mississippi. I seen the ancestors auction blocks every day growing up, and I'm not that old. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still there. And you brought me to a place where I can take all of those things, right? And truly, like, listen to your poem and take them in. You make me feel a certain way. You made me feel like, yo, y'all come in here, sit down, listen to this poet. Like this is the piece that I'm gonna share. This is the piece that the client, I'm sure his ears perked up. Like I can put you on everything. I know the Poets Row ain't really worried about the client that much, but at the end of the day, not only will you get booked because you're palatable for the client, but because you actually, I don't even think you're that palatable for a whole bunch of clients. But what you did today was show that you could take your indifference and put it on the palette. And that made me proud. You stand apart. This poem was dope. As I don't know what I wrote down. I just have to say this back to you. My hair is not a cosplay. As the cosplay queen of the universe, come on, Bars. You said my natural line of work. Take that number and add 30. And then you said crown multiple times, as in the crown act. All of this was genius. And salute, King. I'm going to give you a 9.8.
9.8, let's go. All right, y'all. We on the Poets Row. 9.8. Tamara Blue, it's on you.
Bars. I felt like this poem sounded just like whatever poem you did last week because you write slam poems, in my opinion, and that's how this felt. All the things that Kim said is right. It is very on brand to whatever, like what you were asked to do, but it just didn't impact me. So I'm gonna go with the 8.8.
8.8.
Thank you.
All right. Brandon Leak, it's on you.
Bars, what's good, dog? I put you down as Locks because I didn't hear your name at first, so my apologies, bro. But score, theme 2, lyricism 1.7, performance. I gave a 1, emotionality 1.5, memorization 2, subjectivity 1, so that ends up being a total of a 9.2 for you. On my end, I quite enjoyed the poem. I get what Tamara talks about in terms of it being slammish. That's what bars tend to do. You know what I mean? Especially in the current landscape of spoken word. What I'll give you unique credibility for is I hear a lot of folks do bars who sound just like Black Chakra, and you didn't sound like Black Chakra to me. I thought that you did a good job of being able to make it yourself and to still hone in on that. Probably the biggest thing for me that was a drawback from the piece is I felt like it just kind of went on a little bit too long. Okay. If you could shorten that up and make it a bit more potent in those portions, then I think you would hit far more. When it comes to the clientele concept, yeah, I mean, it all, bars are something that are hit or miss depending on the client. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you perform live, so I'm sure you've been in front of audiences where like everybody's ramped up, super loud, popping, and then there's audiences where you've been in front and then everybody just looking at you like,
Facts.
you know what I mean? So it's hit or miss, but for the right client, that's the right poem. You feel me?
So good feedback. Lachelle the Shooter, it's on you.
Yeah. I have one very specific thing. Can you go back and revise that line around I'm about making my ancestors proud, not you. You don't need it. I know you put it in there because that was the prompt. You ain't need it. You ain't need it. Fix it, change it, something. It was unnecessary. As soon as I heard it, I was like, why? We got the point. We heard it. We got it. You can take it out. So you don't have to rest on that prompt. The writing stands out on its own without you leaning on it. So don't slide it in there for a crutch. You achieve the goal without ever needing to say it. And so kudos to you on that. The poem is well done. Again, I agree in that regard. Definitely my favorite for the night. So I'll leave it at that. I'll give you a 9.3.
9.3, let's go. Hey, I ain't want to say nothing before everybody else talk, but I do want to add, we got a former judge in the comments, and my man just battled him head to head. Chef said to pull it off in a week's work. That is phenomenal. So, yo,
Hey,
that's to me major love.
appreciate
Chef
that.
did take the win, but hey, for him to pull up and to say that, yo, is definitely dope. Hey, y'all, listen, before we crown our champ tonight, I want to take a look at next week's prompt, y'all. I think it's a little different. This time the client is a poet. Hey, let her talk to you. Or let them tell you, rather. Let's go.
Yo, so I am Caleb, the Negro artist Rainey.
And I'm Kelsey Bigelow.
And we're two poets who have been doing a project for the past few months. What we do is we do a thing called Poetry Potluck. We ask all of our Instagram followers on the first Monday of every month to give us a list of words. So they submit so many words, and then by that Friday, we write a poem using those words. It's a tough project, but it makes you branch out and try new writing techniques and new styles.
And we are going to challenge you to write your own potluck poem for this slam. The winner of this slam is going to be invited to join us on the first Friday of March on our Poetry Potluck Live and to share your winning poem. And then we're going to invite all of you to submit your Poetry Potluck poems to us for our Poetry Potluck chapbook. And we'll have a special call out for the winner. And we're just so excited to see what you write. Good luck.
All right, so it comes with a list of words. Poets, I will drop those words in the chat. Judges, I'll get those words to you as well. So with the Poetry Potluck, they get like words from their audience and they put it together. So, hey, everybody that writes on this gets a chance to put it inside the chat book if you so choose to. So you can get some published work. Hey, I might even throw these words on my IG. So if you're just watching and you're inspired by the Poetry Slam and you want to submit, I'm not going to take that from you. I'll leave all the information so you too can submit and have a chance to getting your work published. Y'all, next week is Poetry Potluck. Poets, I'm going to get you the words. For those that are advancing on to the significant six, with us having two poets that's not showing, every poet tonight that presented went forth. I do need to speak with my co-host about language tonight from one of the poets. So be on the lookout on who is the significant six. Hey, y'all, phenomenal night tonight. Make sure y'all stay connected next week. Make sure y'all love on somebody tomorrow. If not, just love on yourself. Hey, appreciate y'all for rocking with me. J.O. Speaks. We out.
Derek Wallace. What up, J.O.? Kimberly Stewart. Yeah. Big Uno.